Yo, we back for another great show. We got a lot to talk about. Can we talk about the Carolina Panthers and what's going on over there? Bryce Young and Tetairoa McMillan having a career game, looking like the best QB and wide receiver in the league, the best young QB and wide receiver in the league. Then LaMelo Ball is asking for out. He said he wants to be traded from the Hornets. OKC looks like the best team in basketball. It's not even close. Is Khan Knuckle rookie of the year? Because he's been balling. We got a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So let's get to it. Let's talk about the Carolina Panthers and what went on against the Atlanta Falcons, man. So as we know, if y'all didn't see the game, the Falcons decided they ain't want to play football. They said, you know what? We ain't going to play football today. We don't feel like it. And week 11 in the NFL, Bryce Young had the best game of his career, while Tetairoa had the best game of his career as well. Bryce Young decided, I'll throw for a 448 yards for a 68.9, almost a 70 completion rate with 3 touchdowns. That's what he decided to do. Out of them 3 touchdowns, guess how many Tet had? He had 2. He had 8 receptions for a buck 30. His longest was 39. His yak was 51. But when I tell y'all that they beat the dog crap out of the Falcons, they beat the dog crap out of the Falcons. Like on paper, it don't look that bad. But when you actually sat there and watched the game, it was scary hours. There's a lot of scary things going on, you feel me? Get rid of this. Bryce Young throwing for almost 500 yards is insane. And we know how mid he's been all season long. Carolina is a half a game behind the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are banged up. So Carolina could somehow actually win this division, which is nasty and disgusting to say. The Atlanta Falcons this season lost both their matchups to the Carolina Panthers. And the first matchup they had, they blew them out 30-0. Scary hours. 30-0 is crazy. But that's neither here nor there. Tetairoa McMillan, he's on his way to being he's has superstar potential written all over him. He's on his way to being one of the best receivers in the league, a top 10 wide receiver in the league. He has the tools. He's a good route runner. He's good at finding the ball, catching the ball. He's a good yak runner. He has all the tools that he needs to be a good wide receiver in this league. We need to have a conversation about Michael Penix Jr. because like I told some of y'all, and y'all say I was a madman for this, he is giving me Anthony Richardson vibes, right? Big athletic quarterbacks, great arms. They're not accurate with their arms. They have low football IQ. You like the potential. You like the diamond in the rough and not the actual product that you have on the field. Unfortunately, he did get injured in this game. He's going to be out for the season. It's cooked for Michael Penix Jr. So, if you're the Falcons, you put a lot of draft capital into this guy. He went high. He was a lottery pick for the Falcons. I believe he was a lottery pick. Let me double check that. But yeah, you put all your chips into this bag on Michael Penix Jr., which made the situation weirder. You had just paid Kirk Cousins that massive contract. So now you're looking at you have the highest backup quarterback sitting on your bench in Kirk Cousins. I don't know why I decided to draft a quarterback. If you're going to draft a quarterback, you shouldn't have gave Kirk Cousins that big deal you gave him. It just didn't make any sense. He played 9 games. Out of 9 games that he played this season, he had a 60 completion rate, 9 touchdowns, 3 picks. And he threw for almost 2,000 yards. I don't. He's a very perplexing guy. You don't know from week to week what version of Michael Penix Jr. you're going to get. He is very inconsistent. I think he's highly overrated. I don't think he's as good as he wanted to be. You're the 8th pick in the 2024 draft. So at that pick, if you're looking at the Falcons, so you had Romeo Doomsday on Dunes, Ozakert, whatever the brother name from Washington. You take his teammate that Michael Penix Jr. played with. He gets picked number 9 in Chicago. You could have took him. You could have took Brock Bowers because Kyle Pitts has not lived up to the hype that we thought he was. He was supposed to be one of the best receivers in the game, and he's not living up to that hype. You nailed your defensive picks last season. You got the pass rush. So at number 8, I didn't understand drafting a quarterback, a raw quarterback, an old quarterback, because he's 24 years old now. So in about a year or two, he's supposed to be entering his prime years. Actually, this is around the same time that most quarterbacks enter their prime, approximately 24 years old. You get an old quarterback. He's hurt. When he returns, he's going to be close to 25. Like, he was between him and Bo Nix, they were like the 2 oldest quarterbacks to be taken in this draft. And the problem is with having old quarterbacks is they're set in their ways. You're not going to change them. They're not getting any better. They basically are who they are. Are they going to make slight improvements? Yes, they're going to make slight improvements. But for the most part, they are who they are. They're going to do what they do. So I really didn't. You basically put all your chips in this basket. Michael Penix is supposed to be the future, but then y'all paid Kirk Cousins in that same offseason you drafted him. So I didn't understand how that made any sense. But yeah, Michael Penix Jr. is not who we think he is. For y'all to lose to the Panthers twice, I get it's a division rival, but this was a winnable game for the most part. You had Bijan 104, 2 touchdowns off of 23 carries. Drake London 119 off of 7 receptions, no touchdowns. Bijan had 4 for 39. Yeah. But will Tet unlock Bryce Young? Because Bryce Young hasn't really had any weapons over there since he's been in Carolina. Xavier Leggett is not looking like a good or serviceable wide receiver. He's looking very mid. He's looking mucho caliente basura. They had a tight end treble. He's looking like he could possibly give him some help. You bring in Rico Dallas. He's looking like he's a good fit there. You had Chuba Howard there. Rico ultimately looked better than him, pause, and just took over his carries. He looked better coming out the outfield. So Phoenix has a lot. I mean, a lot to look. They have a lot right now. They got a lot going on. On top of that, remember last season they made the trade with who's the team they just made a trade with? The Rams. So they owe the Rams pick going to next season. So if they miss the playoffs, I think they're currently 3-7 or somewhere around there. If the Falcons miss the playoffs, the Rams particularly can be getting a top 5 pick in the league, a lotto pick. Isn't that crazy? Y'all can't tell me that's not insane. So basically, you traded with the Rams. Your season's not going like you thought it would. Your season's not going like you thought it would. Now the Rams are about to get a high lottery pick. An already elite team who's finding nothing but gems. Jared Verse is looking like one of the best pass rushers in the league. Their defense is very good. We didn't think it was going to be this good. You got Puka doing Puka things. You got Matt Stafford. I think if the Rams get a high draft pick, they might want to go quarterback just for their future to sustain what they have because their defense is looking elite. Yeah, they're 3-7. So you got 3-17. What you gonna do now? What's the vibes? What you gonna do? 3-7. Your first round pick is owed to the Rams. So let's say you are a top 5 pick. Guess who now gets a top 5 pick? The Rams. So if you the Falcons, you can't really tank this year. You can't really even tank. With Michael Penix Jr. being out, you can't even tank this season. So you gotta hope Kirk Cousins balls out, which he probably is, and live with the results. Excuse me. Shout out to my Patriots, being the Jets per usual. Justin Fields is mid, but yeah, ain't much to talk about in that game. The Dolphins and Commanders, very interesting game. Dolphins get it done. Shout out to the Dolphins. Then we had the shootout game of the Buccaneers and the Bills. Josh Allen went back to his MVP form. The Bucs are having a lot of injuries, so that was expected. Very high scoring game. That's 32-44. You can tell the shootout. The Chargers. What am I going to do with the Chargers? This is one of the weirdest teams in football. Teams they supposed to lose to, they beat. Teams they supposed to beat, they lose to. And what makes it even worse is they had a real chance of winning this division. But Justin Herbert was mid. 10 for 18, 81 yards, no touchdowns, a pick. You had a 44 passer rating, 55.6 completion. Y'all not about to sit here and act like the Jaguars defense is good because they been getting torched all season long. And then week from week, you don't know who's the number one wide receiver. 1 week is Ladd. 1 week is Keenan. In the beginning of the season, it was Quinn Johnson. Gaskin is starting to be one of their targets. He's starting to look like an elite player. Like, I just don't understand this football team. You lose to who you supposed to beat, and then teams that you're supposed to lose to, you beat, and teams you're supposed to beat, you lose to. There's no consistency with this team at all. You lost to the Jaguars, one of the worst teams in football right now. One of the worst teams in the NFL. They're barely holding on to that second spot because Houston could potentially knock them out. We all know the Colts is winning that division. I don't think it was much of a conversation. Coming this season, we probably had our doubts because Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones is playing at an MVP caliber level. And then the crazy thing about this game, it was really the defense. It was really Jacksonville's defense. The offense, they didn't really do nothing spectacular. Trevor Lawrence, 14-22, 153 yards, a touchdown and a pick, 6-3 completion. Toot over here had 74 yards and a touchdown. Jacoby Myers, 5 for 64 off of 6 targets. Parker Washington, 2 for 20. It's really just the defense. That's pathetic. To put up 6 points? 6? 2 field goals? Like, come on, son. What are we doing here? This is troll. If you're the same boat with me and got Ladd on your fantasy team like I do, I feel bad for us. Because Ladd went from clearly the number one wide receiver, getting all the targets, getting all the receptions, all the touchdowns, to now he's basically a number 3 in his offense. Like, how'd that work? How'd that happen? Keenan Allen looking like the number 1. An old Keenan Allen, not even a young one, an old one. Oh, This is another complexing quarterback too. JJ McCarthy is very complexing as a quarterback. You never know what version of him you're gonna get from week to week. One week he looks like he's the NFL, he's a pro, he's making throws easy, that he's making throws, he's wowing you, he's being fundamentally sound, he's just like a good quarterback, a good game manager. Then the next week, he's mucho galante basura. He's overthrowing his receivers. He's holding on to the ball too long. He don't know what's going on. He looks lost in the offense. The offense is overcomplicated for him at times. He don't know what's going on. He don't know where his receiver's going to be. His anticipation doesn't look good. You don't know I don't know if this quarterback is good or trash right now. I don't know what he is right now. Week to week, I don't know what version of him I'm going to get. If I'm going to get a good version or a bad version, it's either he's a good quarterback, good to an elite quarterback, or he's a terrible quarterback. There is no in between with him. When you played at Michigan, the problem that I had with him the most, you played in Michigan under John Harbaugh. And that offense, they were mainly running the ball. Running the ball. I can't think of the running back's name right now, but we're going to get to that in a second. He was just run. You made a couple plays, you made a couple passes, but there was a pro style offense that mainly emphasized the run. Michigan had basically the best running back in the nation when they won that natty. He had an elite defense. Like JJ McCarthy, what do you be doing, bro? Like, what you be having going on, brother, man? Like, are you good? Like, I don't know who you supposed to be, but low key, you look like you might be a Kirk Cousins type of quarterback. You know, you don't know what you're gonna get from you week to week. One day on primetime TV, Kirk Cousins like a top 5 quarterback. Next week, he look like a bottom 5 quarterback. He don't know what's going on. He don't know where he gonna look like a deer in headlights. What version are you getting from week to week? We don't know. The Vikings, I get it. Your best lineman, your left tackle gets injured. He's out. He's basically out for the season. Your O-line's been banged up this season. But it's like, who's on this Michigan team? You had Blake Corum was just hounded. Blake Corum was I couldn't think of. You had AJ Barner on this team. You had Colston Lovett on this team. Roman Wilson was on this team. Yeah, you just had a pro style offense. That's basically what you ran. You went undefeated. You beat everybody. You were the best team in football. But then you come to the NFL, we don't know who you are, what you're doing. Like, everybody's confused and perplexed of who you are and what you're supposed to be. And yeah, Bears fans, Caleb Williams is still mid. He's in that draft class. I think he's the worst quarterback. Drake May is clearly better than him. Drake May is the best quarterback in that class. If the Redskins, if Daniels can stay healthy, Jaden Daniels could stay healthy, he's clearly better than Caleb. Who else is clearly better? And then Bo Nix. Bo Nix is another confusing quarterback. I don't know what to do with him. No, I don't even know how to dissect him, or I don't know. Another weird quarterback. He literally does just enough for his team to win. That's it. These young quarterbacks, man, they don't make them like they used to, man. like passing the torch. There's a time where they was passing the torch. Let's go back to week 11. Packers barely beat the Giants. Another team that be trolling. They need a dominant number one wide receiver. That's I think that's what they're missing. They need like a DK Metcalf type of receiver over there, Drake London type. You got your big body receiver in Christian Watson. He's your big playmaker. When you need a big play, you go to him. But them other wide receivers, I don't know what to think of them. Steelers beat the Bengals. No, that's surprising. Not really. Texans, eggs out the Titans barely. Y'all know how division games go. Then we had the Niners beat up on the Cardinals. Not surprising. This Rams-Seahawks game was very winnable until Sam Darnold decided to throw. He just had a miserable night. Yeah, that defense was getting to him. They were getting pressure. It was his worst game, one of his worst games this season. He threw 4 interceptions. The man threw 4 interceptions and no touchdowns. He had a 65 completion. Kenneth Walker, 16 for 67 yards. Zay Carbonet, 11 for 37. JSN, looking like the best receiver in the league this season, had 9 for 105. Shout out to the defense was getting to them D-line. Jared Verse was wrecking havoc left and right. It was scary hours, man. Scary hours. Ravens beat up on the Browns. Shador started in the second half. Gabriel got hurt. I don't know why I can't think of this brother's last name. Dylan Gabriel got hurt. 7'10", 68 yards. He was struggling. Sanders. He looked bad, but again, he had no reps with the guys he's playing with. He had no reps with them. Shador had no reps with the guys. He doesn't know the playbook. You're getting thrown into the fire. You didn't even get to practice with them or get like a full game. So they just said, here you go, Shador, figure it out. So I didn't expect him to be good. I need to see him in a full NFL game from start to finish to really judge him, see whether he's doing good or bad. But yeah, that also happened. I think the Browns need to draft a receiver. I think that's one of their problems right now. I think they're going into the draft again. They're going to be a top 5 pick once again, per usual. I want to go quarterback right now. I try to see what I got with these two guys. I'm probably going to suck again next season anyway, so. The Chiefs look very human this year. Shout out to the Broncos. Shout out to Bo Nix. Shout out to that defense. Then Kansas City's not winning this division. I don't even know if they're going to the playoffs at this rate. Because these playoffs, it's going to be brutal for you to try to get in the playoffs with being the third best team in your division. The Chargers clearly look better than you. They own the tiebreaker over y'all because they beat y'all. Then Denver just beat y'all. You do have to play these teams again twice. Bo Nix threw for almost 300 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions, 64 completion rate. Patrick Mahomes, 246, a touchdown, and a pick, 64 completion. So their numbers were eerie similar. RJ Harvey, 11 attempts for 30 yards. Troy Franklin, 4 for 84. Pat Bryant, 5 for 82. Carlos Sutton. Sutton, 4 for 59. Evan Ingram, 4 for 33. Yeah. I don't know what the Chiefs going to do, but they going to have to make some tough decisions going to that offseason. Their defense is terrible. That O-line needs some fixing up again. It's just Patrick Mahomes in front. The most boringest game that we've seen of my lifetime, all time, especially yesterday. Not yesterday, on Sunday, a couple days ago, the Lions and the Eagles game, basically a defensive game. Can somebody tell Dan Campbell it's okay to kick a field goal? It's okay to punt the ball. The man went down for every fourth and one, fourth and three, fourth and two, fourth and four. The man went for it like a nutcase, and he failed every single time. Dan Campbell, we get it. You risky, you're gutsy. We get it, bro. Sometimes you just kick the field goal and take the points. And the only real reason why the Eagles won this team is because of that very questionable PI, but that's neither here nor there. Cowboys beat up on the Raiders. The Raiders. Gino, I didn't expect him to be as bad as he is. He's looking mucho caliente basura. Like, it's bad. But it's not 100% his fault. Because that O-line come block a parked car to save their life. They come block a closed gate to save their life. That offense is bad. And which makes it worse is when you got a guy in Genty. And he's not even looking too good. If you draft him in fantasy, I feel bad for you. Oh, and look. And guess who drafted him? This guy. He's on my team. You know why? Because people decided to screw me over in my fantasy league and leave me with him. But Genty's just struggling, man. 554 yards for 4 touchdowns. That's how he's looking. I think one of the biggest problems the Jets made when I'm looking at this draft, right? They had the 6th pick. Look like they about to have the same pick again going into this draft. You drafted a running back. Why did you draft a running back? I don't know. I didn't like Genty going there when you still had Tetairoa was still there. You could have took him. You could have took a Calvin Banks. You got Brock Bowers, but you could have gave him relief with another. Like, you could have took a lineman, Armand Maypool. I'm sorry, I pronounced his name from the Jets. You really needed a lineman. That's what you really needed. You could have took Tyler Booker there. Calvin Banks could have went there. Like, I don't think a running back is what you needed. You could have passed on him. I thought Tet was a better pick for you out there. I would have went with Tet. Excuse me. Yeah, but it's not. That pick ain't looking too good. Man, it look like y'all gonna have another top 5 pick. To the Cowboys, shout out to Quinn Williams. He looked like he's gonna be a problem with them for the rest of the season. He's gonna help that defense a lot. He's gonna be a run stopper. He's gonna be able to get pressure on the quarterback. Logan Wilson looked good. Their rookie, one of their rookie DBs, he looked nice. But shout out to the Cowboys for actually getting a win, a much needed win. Now they're going through the gauntlet. The next team that they have is week 12. The Cowboys. They have the Eagles. They have a division game. The Eagles don't look too good. I mean, they look like the Cowboys can beat them. The Cowboys can definitely draw blood on that team. They can beat them. But it's their offense is going to perform. That's the true question. Patriots, Bengals. We all know the Patriots are going to beat the dog crap out of the Bengals. They're pushing for Joe Burrow to play, which is dumb and stupid, not wise at all. Jamar Chase is not playing, so that game's not winnable. I think you should prioritize. If I'm the Bengals, I'm just tanking the season, getting a high draft pick. Hey, I got nothing to lose at this point. But yeah, that was football for this week. Tonight we got the Bills and Texans. I'm taking the Bills. The Texans is one of the best pass defenses, so I wouldn't be shocked if the Texans actually do come out and beat the Bills. But I'm only taking the Bills because they have Josh Allen and CJ Stroud is hurt. So David Mills is a starting quarterback. I don't like that. If CJ Stroud was playing and not injured, I would have easily took the Texans over the Bills. But because of that, I don't trust the backup quarterback. There's gonna be a lot of force feeding to the wide receiver whose name I can't think of. It's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, but it's gonna be a lot of force feeding to him. Uh, let's shift gears into the NBA real quick. The wide receiver's name I was thinking of. What's this young brother's name? Oh, Nico Collins. I don't know why I couldn't think of. But yeah, Nico Collins. Nico Collins is gonna get force fed that game. All right, now let's talk a little NBA before we wrap up this show tonight. Shout out to the 3 people that's in here. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I found this very interesting. LaMelo Ball is open to trade after growing increasingly frustrated with the Hornets. LaMelo Ball does not impact winning at all. He's a part of the problem of why the Hornets suck. He's a part of that problem. He does not impact winning. He doesn't play winning basketball. If you watch the Hornets and LaMelo play, he doesn't take it serious. He acts like he's still in high school, like he's playing 2K or something. And then LaMelo's in this weird situation where he's injury prone. The man is always missing games. Every year he's missing at least 30 to 40 games guaranteed. Almost every season. Then you look around the league. How many of these teams need a point guard? Especially a ball-dominant point guard. Don't get me wrong. He's talented as all outdoors. But what team needs a point guard? Are you like the only team I'm thinking of is a team like the Miami Heat. But he don't fit over there in Heat culture. Who else? Teams that need a point guard off the top of my head. Spurs got their point guard. They already got too many. You might be able to get away with him in Memphis, but out of him for Ja, if y'all do a straight up swap, I don't think that's good. Maybe the Hawks, depending on what they do with Trey. Let me look at the standings. Let me just look at teams. The Pistons got I said quarterback. Oh my goodness, I'm still stuck on football. The Pistons got their franchise, they star player in Cade. The Raptors, maybe you ship him over there. I don't know what you're gonna get back for him. Him and Scotty, I don't think gonna be able to coexist because Scotty is the point forward over there. Emmanuel quickly plays off the ball a lot. The Knicks, you got Jalen Brunson. You could possibly send him to the Cavs, package him up. That could be a possible landing spot for him. The Hawks, maybe the Heat. He doesn't fit Heat culture, but you could probably ship him over there. I said the Bills. I'm really still stuck on football. The Bulls, Josh Giddey's there, the Giddler. Philly, you got Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe there. Boston just don't got the money for him. Orlando don't got the money for him. Unless you going to part ways with. I don't think that's a good fit either. Because Franz is kind of the main ball facilitator over there. Yeah, he just doesn't fit over there. You could ship him to Milwaukee. You got Miles Turner, Giannis, and LaMelo. That's not a. The Nets. You want to ship him to the Nets? Why not? They ain't drafted like 3-point guards. I guess they hoping one of them is gonna pan out. Excuse me. The Pacers got Tyrese. The Wizards. I don't even know who wants to go to the Wizards. Then in the West, forget about it. SGA got it on lock for the Thunder. You got Jamal Murray on Nuggets lock. If I'm Houston, I'm gonna get a little crazy with y'all right now, but if I'm Houston, I'm calling up Charlotte, see what they want for LaMelo, see if I could strike a deal. Because I do need a point guard. That's one of my biggest problems right now. Reece Shepard doesn't look like he's a good point guard. He looks like he's more of a two guard. You got Fred VanVleet who's getting old, who just got hurt. I mean, LaMelo, KD, Sagoon. I kind of like that team. I ain't gonna lie. With Jabari Smith Jr., that's not a bad team. LA don't got the money. I mean, they might. If LA's looking for the future, I would call, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with Bron. So there's that. The Spurs, no. The Wolves, him and Anthony Edwards. That's not. I like that. That's a good backcourt right there, boy. That allow Anthony Edwards to move more off the ball. The Timberwolves do have a point guard problem that they've been trying to fill for years since Mike Conley is too old. So that could be a possible team. The Suns, you got Devin Booker there and Jalen Green. No. The Warriors, you got Steph. Portland, I don't even know who their point guard is. The Jazz, you do business with Danny Ainge, you gonna give up everything and more. You giving up the whole world. The Clippers, Memphis, the Mavs, depending on what I do with Kyrie, I might call for LaMelo. Then you got the Kings. The Kings could possibly be a good landing spot. And the Pelicans, I don't know what they do with Dejounte Murray. So there are a couple of teams, now that I look at it, that could possibly go for LaMelo, that his services can be rendered. He's a ball-dominant guard, so he doesn't play. He can play off the ball, but he's not to get the best version of him, and let him be the best player that he is, he's gonna need the ball in his hands. But I just find that hilarious how now he's frustrated with the Hornets. I'm pretty sure he's the veteran of that team too, low key, which is crazy to say. The Thunder are one of the best teams of all time. I'm gonna tell y'all, like I've been telling y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all again. The dynasty has started. Teams in NBA history start 15-1 or better by winning at least 10 games by 14 points or more. Us and the Chicago Bulls, they won the title. And we're gonna win the title too if we stay healthy. Jalen Williams hasn't even played yet. Our second best player hasn't even played. Second, third, however you want to look at it. He hasn't played yet. Chet has been balling. Isaiah Joe has been balling. AJ Mitchell has been looking like a diamond in the rough. This team is just great. I don't know what else to tell you. Last night, the Knicks were the first team in NBA history to miss 30 plus threes, which is insane, and 15 plus free throws and still win the game regulation. What's crazy about them missing 15 plus free throws? Larry Sherman missed some key free throws. Mitch Robinson, of course, who's a terrible free throw shooter. He missed some key ones too. And I believe Brunson missed some too. But yeah, they should have won that game. That was a very questionable call at the end. The offensive foul from Brandon Williams. But yeah, things happen. The Brooklyn Nets are basically censoring Michael Porter Jr. to stay serious certain topics when he does his podcast. His last greatest podcast episode, he's talking about how a team of 8th graders could beat WNBA players. That was a whole debacle. Oh, here it is. Michael Porter Jr. says he wants people to stop comparing WNBA players to men and claim he would have dominated the WNBA as an 8th grader. Yeah, that's crazy. That's just crazy to me. And the disrespect to the WNBA, it'd be OD sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Gigi Jackson has complete fallout. The Grizzlies rotation. He had a lot of potential as a rookie. He's now getting a lot of DNPs. I think he doesn't fit the system of what they're doing right now. You got a new head coach, and that style of offense he runs, Gigi Jackson just doesn't fit. I think his IQ is very questionable at times. For the offense that he's running is very Europeanish, and in that offense, you have to have a high basketball IQ to run the offense. You don't have to be the best player, but you have to have an IQ. You have to be able to rebound, defend, score. GG Jackson just has very questionable mental lapses, so he just doesn't fit there. I think he should be traded. There's a lot of teams who could use him. He's a very he can contribute to a team basically. Another thing that was in this folder that I wanted to touch upon real quick. Oh no, wrong thing. Oh. Jokic now leads a decade in total points, total rebounds, total assists, and total steals. No player in NBA history has ever played a decade in which he led in all 4 of 5 major statistical categories. The record is 3. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the 70s. I'm not moved. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm really not moved by this. The problem that I have with Jokic that y'all just gloss over is that man's a terrible defender. I just watched this man last night allowed Derek McQueen to score 13 points. On top of him scoring 13 points, he shot 66% from the field. And on top of him shooting 66% from the field, he had a career high 30. His 30, which is the most points he scored in his rookie year this season. And almost half of them was on Jokic. Jokic was getting fried, cooked. He didn't know what to do. He was giving up on plays defensively. It was just bad. Jokic is a great offensive talent, but he's a defensive liability, and people like to sweep that under the rug and just ignore it because, oh, he's so great offensively. Basketball is offense and defense, no matter how you put it, slice it, or dice it, right? I believe that when a player has a one-way ability, a player with a two-way ability outweighs that one-way ability when that two-way player, one of their ability is on par with that player with the one-way ability. So I'm gonna give you an example of what I'm saying because I know that was a little confusing. It was a mouthful of pause. When I'm comparing Jokic to Giannis, right? Offensively, you can say it's a gap, whatever you want to say. I say it's close. The scoring is close. The playmaking is a conversation. If you say Jokic is better, that's cool. The gap is just not as big as you wanted to seem, right? The gap, it's not as big. But when we talk about defensive gap, it's like an anaconda. Pause. That's how large the gap is. It's not a conversation. When we talk about defensive gap, it's like I'm on the 10th floor, the highest floor of the building, which goes up to 10, and Jokic is can't even get into the building right now, all right? So that's how I feel about that. That's why I don't think he's the best player in the world. I think he's number 3. He may be number 4, depending on how I feel in the day, and it depends on what Luka is doing. To me, SGA Giannis is 1 and 2. You go back and forth with who the best player in the world is. I personally don't care. I personally have SGA Shy as the best player in the world. But if you have Giannis, I understand. I'm not against it. I'm not gonna give you no pushback because he has a valid case too. They're 1 and 2. They battling 1A, 1B, however you want to cut it, slice it, and dice it. They're on the same tier. And when it comes to best player in the world, then you have Jokic. Jokic and Luka is battling for number 3. Jokic is one of the greatest offensive talents we have ever seen in NBA history. But we can't ignore how bad he is on defense. Why does that get swept under the rug? Why do we act like basketball is only about offense? That's the only thing that matters. It's a one-way sport. No, it's the objective of basketball is to outscore your opponent. Hold on, while limiting your opponent to score. That's how basketball works. You can impact the game by being a great rebounder and defender, aka Dennis Rodman, aka Ben Wallace, one of the greatest defenders of all time. There's other ways you can impact the game. Now, just because you are so great and a liability, when you're a liability on any way to the floor, it's hard for you to be in conversations of best player in the world. It's very hard for you to be the best player in the world when you are a liability. That's why it was hard to put Steph in the conversations. At least with Steph, you can say he was a solid defender. He was average. Jokic came and be average. I'm watching players skiddy all through the lane. They don't respect the man. They ain't scared. I don't care about these little steals. What them steals mean? Just because you elite and steals don't mean you play defense. Because by that logic, Allen Iverson must be one of the greatest defenders of all time. He got steal titles. And which makes it worse for Jokic, you's a big. How you a big and you a defensive liability? You are a 7-footer. You don't know how to do this? I ain't telling you block no shots and none. Well, it would be nice if you did. Because block shots is part of defense and all. But you a 7-footer. You have no rim deterrence. As the new people say, as these new kids say. You can offer no rim protection at all. Players see you. They see open lane. You fool. Barbecue, baby. Hibachi style. Ain't nobody scared of you. No player respects you in that lane as a defender. Now, offensively, you great. One of the greatest talents we ever seen. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain is greater offensively, but hey, that man was giving you 50 points with like 6 or 7 assists. Wilt Chamberlain is a myth, a legend. So offensively, you are the greatest center of this generation. You can say that, but we ain't gonna act like you the greatest one of all time. Wilt Chamberlain did exist, but that's neither here nor there. But the Jokic glaze has to stop. The old rating Jokic has to stop. We just got to stop, man. It's getting nasty. It's getting out of control, man. But it's time to wrap this show up. Shout out to the 6 people that stayed in here. Everybody who showed up, show some love. I appreciate all 6 of y'all, even though I don't know who y'all are. But thanks for tuning in. Make sure y'all come back. I might have a show tomorrow. I don't know. Gotta check my calendar. Next week. So next week's stream is gonna be on Friday because we know Thanksgiving's on Thursday. So you will catch me. I'll be streaming on Friday. Friday 5:30. I will be streaming. That is Central Time. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, tell your friends, your enemies. I don't care who you tell. Follow the channel. You can find me on YouTube at Crazy Josh Universe. Make sure to hit that sub button. Thank you. Support a small content creator. Y'all support these big ones. Why can't you support a small one that talks about sports? You can follow me on Instagram at CrazyShotJosh_talk sports. You can find me on TikTok, CrazyShotJosh. I talk sports, WNBA, NBA, NFL. You want to argue with me or you disagree with my takes? You want to rump with me, as they say? That's where you can find me. But I'm gonna tell you something. Take a shot at the king, you better not miss. If you take a shot at me, you better not miss. You better make sure it's a fatality. And I'm talking about Mortal Kombat style. But yeah. Make sure y'all come back. Tune in next week, Friday, definitely. 5:30 Central Time. I will be here. Thanks you for everybody who's showing up. Continue support, man. You can find me on Twitter at Crazy Shot Josh. Y'all know the name and y'all know the game. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night. I hope you guys have a good holiday. Enjoy, do what you do. Make sure you get some money. And I'm out of here, man.